Hey YouTube, let's talk about Agatha All Along. Now, since this show's been released, it's gotten a buttload of hate. We've seen reviews saying, "Why is this show even made? This show's boring. The show's very slow. What's going on?" You've seen the reviews, and if you were to just watch episode one, you would have that impression because episode one does not do this show good at all. It stays in its true detective mayor of Easttown trope a little bit too long, and it's not until the last 10 minutes we actually see anything of substance from this show so far. And in episode one, during those 10 minutes, we have the plot is established. So Aubrey Plaza's character, who's Rio, her and Catherine Hahn or Agatha, they're fighting, and Rio has Agatha dead to rights pretty much, and Agatha basically convinces her not to kill her. She basically says, "Oh, one, you can't do that, and then two, it would be no fun to kill me because I don't have my powers." And she doesn't have her powers because if you recall back to WandaVision, the she's under a spell of Wanda that Wanda put her in. She's under some spell, but eventually that spell is broken in episode one. This teen that broke into her house and tried to steal something, they lift the spell, and we kind of see, Agatha go through these different kind of different, I would say, eras, kind of like in WandaVision, where every episode was different era. So WandaVision, she was just taking off these layers, and it was like different eras of Agatha, and it was kind of interesting. It was done really good, but that's where we kind of pick up. Oh, so this is why we're here. This is why we're watching this show. And so then we get to episode two, and episode two is where we really okay. I'm kind of on board with this. You got me, because in episode two we have the supporting cast is introduced. We also see or learn more about Agatha and how she can't interact or can't know about this teen who she basically kidnapped. She can't learn anything about them. Whenever she asks the teen their name, M gets written over their mouth and no words come out. And when she asks the teen where they're from, the teen starts talking, but not Wanda, but Agatha can't hear anything. So, and it's back there. So Agatha, she's aware that something's not right. Something's going on, but she can't really say what it is because I don't think she knows. But then we also see the supporting cast are introduced because she needs this coven to walk the witch's road, and in order to gain her powers back. So she has to go assemble these three witches to kind of help her walk this road. And so the witches are introduced, and they're older. So we have like a defense witch, one that makes potions, and I think one's like a clairvoyant. And then we have like her neighbor. Well, the other witch was supposed to be Rio, Aubrey Plaza's character, but Agatha didn't want to work with her, so she tricked her neighbor into joining us. And her neighbor's just doesn't know what she's into or what she's getting into, and she just seemed to be along for the ride. And it's kind of funny. I feel like she's going to be the comedic relief for the show at times, so that's going to be interesting to watch. And then the other good point about episode two is the music note that was done. Usually I don't like music pieces in TV shows because I feel like it's lazy writing, but in this one, as they were singing, we saw the seven witches of Salem, who Rio said, "Hey, I'm gonna tell these people to come get you at 7 o'clock tomorrow." We saw that character or those characters introduced, and it was kind of like the real deal, because before the show kind of had like a hocus pocus vibe, and it kind of seemed like it was kind of trending towards that little younger audience. But when the seven witches of Salem were introduced, It had a very dark vibe. They were dressed in all black and they had these scary masks and they moved in disjointed ways, kind of like they do in horror films. And it's kind of like, okay, this is not a kid's show. You could also say this wasn't a kid's show by like the sexual jokes that they made, referencing jade eggs and pelvic floor, and they were calling each other. Well, Agatha was calling the other witches bitches, not witches bitches. That's kind of funny, but yeah, this show is targeting a more adult audience. And like I said, I like that musical piece because it introduced the Seven Witches of Salem into the series, and they came and they mean business. But ultimately, as they were doing the music piece, they get the door open to the um, the Witch's Road, and we actually start the journey. So I would say if you want to watch this show, I would say Agatha All Along. It isn't bad yet, but Marvel's gonna find a way to just really mess it up. I'm probably by like episode 5 or 6, they're gonna shit the bed. Like the show's just gonna fall on itself and just lose all its purpose and momentum that it's gonna build through the series. And we've seen this done multiple times. I don't have to repeat myself. So I would say if you want to watch this show, watch the last 10 minutes of episode 1 and then watch episode 2. And I feel like you'll enjoy it more rather than watching all of episode 1 because you'll fall asleep. I almost fell asleep twice. But if you watch this show, let me know your thoughts on it. Leave a comment down below. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you didn't. I'm Sam, and have a good one.